So please don't misunderstand. When he says, wives, subject yourselves to your own husbands, understand that we're talking about being a wife, subjecting to a husband. Husband's not a man. It's a specialized type of man. Wife is not a woman. It's a specialized type of woman. Mother is not a wife. It's another specialized aspect of woman. Father is not a husband. It's a specialized aspect of a man. And you've got to, if you're a husband and a father, or a wife and a mother, be able to wear both those hats appropriately. Mother with your children, wife with your husband. Unfortunately, you tend to be mother with both. For in this way, in former times, the set-apart women all who trusted in Elohim also adorned themselves, being subject to their own husbands. In other words, adorning yourself in a way that's not meant to attract anybody else. Let's just keep it simple there. I'm not going to get into the whole verses 3, 4 going in there, but just understand, ladies, you're there to win over and attract your husband. And some of you, once you got your husband, could care less about, appealing to him, doing things to appeal to him and that kind of thing. And we should. We should do that. Guys, don't forget whatever you had to do to win them over while you took them out and went on dates and when was the last time you did that? The ladies dressed up nice and got your eyes and your attention on them, and you impressed them and took them out and took care of them and provided for them and made them feel like you could take care of them for the rest of their life at some point. And then you get married and both sides forget what they're doing. Think of the covenant of husband and wife, of marriage, like the covenant with Yah, okay? And what I mean from that is, we come into covenant with Yah to provide and do obedience to Him, to do things that are going to please Him, right? We get into that covenant so we can please Him, and then we also have an expectation that we will benefit from that. But we're hopefully not doing just so we benefit. Same thing when you get married. You want to please the other, and in doing so, you hope and believe you'll get a benefit. As opposed to standing there demanding your benefit. Work on you, and then each one does that, things should get better. So you give respect to the wife. So men, when you do a lot of the things that you do, is that respectful to your wife? So you're watching porn, is that respectful to your wife? You're ogling, or whatever the word is, there's some lady walking by you in the restaurant or at the next table. Is that respectful to your wife? Your friends, men who are married, you're friends with women. Actually, I was going to say on the internet, you're friends with women, period. You can't be friends with women. Period. You can be friendly, okay? But you can't be friends with. Simple. I mean, absolutely simple. I can't remember the guy's name. I caught him on a TikTok. He does motivational speaking. What was the guy's name? Steve Harvey, okay? And he was talking to somebody, and it might have been Oprah or somebody, but anyway, he's talking to somebody, and he was talking about the fact that I am not friends with women. And then he explained, and she said, well, why? He said, because men can't do that. If we're going to start from loving self to loving as we're moving our way out, so, some of you think, well, what's that neighbor thing? Well, we can't get to the neighbor till we fix the in the house. Okay, if the house isn't right, what's the neighbors, who cares what's going on with the neighbors? I can't even get my house right. I mean, am I really going to care about the neighbor if I don't even care about what's going on in my house? Probably not, okay? And if I care a whole lot more about the neighbors than what's going on in my house is never going to get right. That's for sure. Okay? So as long as we understand that, because we want to get to a place where we are Abrahams with Sarahs that feel safe enough to then obey and call their husbands master. And that's a journey. Understand that this is about you, not the wife, or you, not the husband, whichever you're in that equation, but focus on you. Don't focus on, well, she needs to obey, or he needs to, no. What do you need to do? Do your thing. And if they're not doing their thing, then you might ask the question first, am I not doing mine? Because if you were doing yours, we're naturally built, actually, to do it right when it's working. Now, through culture and through abuse and all kinds of brokenness, we don't as naturally do it anymore. But at least you can work on your side of it. Okay, and that's really the point. We're all walking out our salvation individually in fear and trembling. we are going to, this is now like every so many years I come up with a new theme that we're going to focus on. Like one was, are you becoming the type of person Yahweh wants to live with forever, and those kind of things. And so the new theme is, we are going to live in reality, okay? We are not going to live in delusion anymore, and we're going to identify every little piece of delusion and clear it up. And this is one of the major delusions we have, is understanding the mystery or delusion of what marriage should look like in husband and wife. And in reality, you can only control one thing, you. Okay? Let's live in reality. Stop trying to control everybody else. Yes, you can give guidance. Yes, you can have authority, just depending on where you are in the structure, but you really can't control. I don't think that we're going to spend forever with a bunch of selfish people. And I don't mean like selfish, meaning, some of you are the most generous people in the world, meaning you'll do stuff for people, give stuff to people, give of your time, give items and donate, but you're still some of the most selfish people around, because somehow everything that's happening is still all about you. And so it's hard to think of yourself as selfish. But if it's about self, that makes you selfish, okay? So if things have to be your way, always, that makes you selfish, even though you might still be a very generous person. We think of selfish versus stingy, okay? So we're only thinking in terms of giving of something. But no, I'm talking about it from the point of, are you about self or about others? Others-ish is not really a good word, okay? But are you going to be selfish or others-ish? See, sometimes I think the men just don't read the verses right. They just read the part that says, look, Sarah called her husband master, so you need to call me master. Well, you ain't Abraham. She could easily say that. Probably won't go well, but it's already not going well when he's getting in her face anyway. But do you understand what I'm saying? If you're going to read the verse, look for your part, not the other person's part. Wow. Why was Sarah so comfortable to obey and call her husband master? What kind of man would that guy must have been? That's what, as a man, you should ask that question. What kind of man must he have been to have a wife? Instead of thinking, wow, what kind of wife was she to do that, and thinking your wife needs to be like her. Well, maybe it had a whole lot more to do with the kind of man he was, and not about the kind of woman she was. You fathers, do not provoke your children, but bring them up in the instruction and admonition of the master. It says, do not provoke. Okay, so this is a challenging word for us, okay? Don't just combatively battle with your children. Sit with them. It says, bring them up in the instruction. Okay, so look at the children also as weaker vessels while they're still little children, and treat them with the understanding that they don't know what you know yet. And instruct them and give them the admonition, the guidance that comes from the master. But don't create an adversarial, battling relationship so they don't listen to anything you say.